Hey Nicole, so after watching your video, I just decided, and you said that I don't really talk about my books anymore that I've been reading. Damn it! Why do I always like itch my nose in these videos? It's annoying. But anyway, you were asking like what books I've read lately because I don't really talk about them that much. Like I don't know why, it just never really crosses my mind. But damn it! Why do I keep doing it? But I guess I'll just show you some of the books that I've been reading lately. I haven't been able to read a lot as much as I was in high school. It's a lot harder now because I have so much more homework, and I had Major Barbara to deal with and homework. It's a whole big stressful thing, and of course I'm memorizing for the play, so I always find that if I shouldn't read anything else while I'm memorizing for a play because like it helps me a lot, whatever. But this is the play that I'll be doing, The Actor's Nightmare. It's very, very funny. It is a very, very funny play. I love it. I love it so much. And I play the main guy, George, who is a guy who's an accountant who wakes up all of a sudden backstage of a play, and people think he's an actor, but he's not an actor. He's an accountant, or at least he thinks he's an accountant. And it's just all these people like saying, like, oh wow, you're the main guy, like he broke his legs in a car accident. You're gonna have to go on for him. He's like, what? I'm not an actor. I don't even know these lines. And what's the play? And they keep switching the plays. It's so funny. And he just like is like, yeah, I know this. And then he keeps on improvising lines. He even improvises a Shakespearean soliloquy. It's hilarious. And at some point, this is one point. This is the part that I wish you would be able to come to the play, is the part where he says, "Oh, I think I better leave now." Then all of a sudden, his pants drop down, and so basically, I'll be exposing myself to the Hinckley community there. And I have a special kind of underwear I'm wearing. I bought these boxer briefs at American Eagle, like, I don't know, around Christmas or something, like with some Christmas money, and I did it like just because, like, what the hell, like I thought it was funny. And it's these pair of boxer briefs that are, oh, hold on, I'll get them. Ugh. They look a bit like, they look a bit like this, so they're kind of, the color pink, and they're really booty-ish. Usually I don't wear those, but I thought it was hilarious, and I had money to spend on them, to be frivolous and buy $12 underwear that's pink. So basically, the entire Hinckley students are going to see my pink tushy. So yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. Oh yeah, and of course, Emily has to take my pants off from around my ankles because she's the stage manager. So then she's like, "George, there's no time for this fooling around." So then she pushes me to the floor, and she like a mother like taking like clothes off a baby, like just like rips them off my ankles, like, "Oh shit! Don't give me back my pants." It's so funny. It I laugh just thinking about it. But anyway, yeah, and another one I've been reading is this play called Marisol by Jose Rivera. It's a very funny but really dark play about this girl named Marisol Perez in a not too distant future in New York, and it's basically the end of the world as we know it, and the angels are leading a revolt against God, and the angel that's leading the revolt is Marisol's guardian angel. And all these horrible things start going wrong with, like, once God has been killed, all these horrible things start happening to the world. Men are becoming pregnant. People are not who they appear to be. People have doppelgangers. People who are dead aren't really dead anymore, but they're still kind of dead. It's so weird. And Nazi skinheads are running around setting homeless people on fire. It's funny, but very, very dark and creepy, Just my kind of play. And I've been reading a lot of short stories lately because I don't really have time anymore to read like full-length novels. Because like if I do read a full-length novel, then I have to stop for a while because I'm doing so much homework, or because I was doing Major Barbara but now I'm doing Actor's Nightmare, and I don't really have time to read them, so then I stop for like a couple days and then I keep on reading, but I can only get so far, so I get bored and I put the book down. So that's why now I've been reading a whole lot more short stories, like Ray Bradbury here. It's a great collection, A Medicine for Melancholy. I don't know. I think you've read some Ray Bradbury stuff. He's an excellent writer. He's most of his stories are like vintage science fiction, so it's not like too crazy. It's not like Star Trek. Though of course you do like Star Trek, so it doesn't matter. But I gotta say, a couple stories from this that I know you would like would be The Dragon. That's an excellent. It's a creepy, creepy story about these knights on this mountainside. Like they're trying to hunt this dragon that's been terrorizing the people that cross across the moors. People just get eaten by the dragon, or they just get torn to pieces, and their bodies are nothing but mangled bits. And it's so creepy. It's a creepy, creepy story. It's got a crazy twist at the end. And what was the other one that was amazing? Oh yeah, the one that I love the most in this whole story. It was the very first in this whole book is a story. The very first Ray Bradbury story I ever read was called All Summer in a Day, and it's about these school of kids that are living in a human colony on the planet Venus, and only after so many years the clouds part on Venus to let the sun in, and it's basically summer in a day. And only one of the kids in the entire class, named Margot, she was the only one of the kids that was ever born on Earth and ever kind of remembers the sun. So she tells them about it, and like she's not like snobbish about it. She's just like, wow, I remember it, But then one kid that's jealous of her gets angry at her, and right before the sun comes out, like they don't believe the sun's gonna come out, so they grab her and throw her in a closet for shits and giggles. But when they actually see the sun's coming out, they forget about her and they run out and they're having fun. And then once the sun goes back behind the clouds, they realize that girl Margot, who had really wanted to see the sun, because she was the only one who ever remembered it, she never got to see it, and then they let her out. It's a sad, sad story. It's one of my favorites, though. It was the very first story I ever read of his. And of course, they also made a short film of it that I watched in 6th grade, and it was awesome. I've also been reading this. Oh shit, it's ripped. Oh well. It's called Not Quite What I Was Planning. It's basically a book of famous writers and obscure writers writing memoirs of themselves, but only in 6 letters. Like this guy, Omni Castanar, and this is actually a pretty good one. And his memoir was Forgot to Say I Love Her. Yeah, so it's basically just a bunch of 6-word memoirs of all these people. It's really cool. It's awesome. It's a nice, quick, like little gift book read. They also have one that I think you might like. It's all I don't own it, but it's called 6-word memoirs on love and heartbreak. It's a good. I read a little bit of it and it's good. And of course, we're back to Ray Bradbury, Dandelion Wine. I haven't read this book in a long time. I started it in like the 8th grade and I never finished it, but then I restarted it and I finished it. It's a great story about. You might actually really like this book, I have a feeling. It's about, it's kind of a novel about this one summer, the summer of 1928, in this Illinois town called Greentown. And it's just about all the people that live in the entire town, and how certain things affect them, and there's like a certain kind of magic, but it's not supernatural magic or anything. I don't know. It's very strange. It's basically a bunch of short stories linked together into a novel. So there are some stories you can read without, reading all the other stories, but you can't finish the novel without reading all the stories, if you know what I mean. Because like it wouldn't all make sense at the end. It's just the way it was written. But it's great. I remember seeing that Mom had the play version of it, and I kept on saying, Mom, it would be awesome if you were to put on this play here at Hinckley. It would be amazing. And she even said that she would love to have it, but she just like there was something about like because she needs quite a few boys for the play, but a lot of them are doing sports at the time. But yeah, Dandelion Wine, check that shit out. It is awesome. And oh yeah, and I haven't read this, but I saw it on my shelf and I thought you should know about it. It's called Heroes. It's one of my favorite books. I haven't read it in a long time, but it really is one of my absolute favorites. It's about this guy named what the hell was his name? Francis Joseph Cassavant, who was able to get into the army sneak in himself into the army in the Second World War. Like, he lied about his age because he wanted to support, I guess, the troops. But in the result of the whole thing, he jumped on a grenade and it blew off his face. Like, he doesn't have a nose, he doesn't have ears, he doesn't have lips. So he always has to wear like scarves and sunglasses all the time. And it goes back into his past about how there was this man who was his hero. People consider like Francis a hero, and then he goes back into his past about the reason why he went into the army. And it's this guy who was a local hero. He was like really cool, but then at some point he molested his this little girl that was Francis's friend. So then that guy went into the army, so then he got angry and he basically went into the army so he could find him and basically kill him. Though of course he couldn't find him, and there's this whole showdown between them. It's a very dark story. It's very short, but it is so sad, but it is really good. So check this out, Heroes. Amazing story by Robert Cormier. He's the guy who wrote The Chocolate War, and it's a little less complicated than The Chocolate War, but that's what I kind of like about it. It's really cool. But, yeah. Oh, wait, yeah, I forgot. I've also been getting much more into Edgar Allan Poe. I used to love Edgar Allan Poe, and just been reading a lot more of his stories lately. But anyway, besides that was a horrible ending. It would have been perfect if it ended there. But anyway, I think I went on too long, and you're probably bored. So, yeah, those are my books that I've been reading lately. Hopefully there were any good suggestions for you. And I guess I would just really say check out Dandelion Wine and Heroes. So, okay.